I think the chairman Abufu or they can summarize a lot of things, but I think it's quite unfortunate. But JV, I think the good side is that the gentleman has seen the need. Say, I offended the sensibility of a lot of Ghanaians. Your friend say, "Well, render an unqualified apology," because act now is see, and obviously in the sight of right-thinking Ghanaians, when you see it, especially where Ghana has come from. Now, in recent times, corruption, those kind of way, the central team in our politics, and some of these things, it was unfortunate because the act wasn't meant to be recorded. But unfortunately, it has been recorded. You also say, we're a government official. Wherever you are, you need to be very...
You should be guided.
You should be guided.
Yeah.
Your environment, because now you are in the public eye.
Yeah, sure.
Everything that you do is not about you alone. Even when you are in your bedroom on your phone, speaking to somebody on phone, tell yourself, say, as a maker in private, a bad public, can I defend? That is because
and
the tendency...
good taste.
Exactly. The tendency, because now, it's like, what is screens will be a show? People are more sure, you can't see them. Yet, those watching us, I can't see them.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Everybody can see us.
Yeah.
So that is what you need to see yourself as somebody, your friend say, in higher office and as for them. And I think that's who had the pain, chairman and other people, it's not just about Sikana Sammy Gyamfi, Edema, your friend say, the will be, but it's about the person involved. And I think that at the end of the day, anger, and it's understandable because you see, Obakaya on recently Muntaka eba video so now we are crowd the same Agraada. Me say the way NDC supporters are taking on the ministry issued a statement to clarify. That's how people are very peeved when it comes to this individual.
Yeah.
And the same person is in another way. So clearly, the same person repeating over and over and over. And sometimes the anger is highly understandable because of some Nema. Why? There are a lot of people now. If you share brand TV on the Captain's Party, I say campaign time. And Africa, so not to perform. And
wow.
Or send the pictures, and or say up to now, Obiam friend no crime inside and what to say. So you see, when some of these people see some of these things, obviously they will be very way.
Yeah.
But I think that rendering
for him to send a party office or no more. Party office or no more, Obiam
yes.
Wow, that's paying for so more more friend from us Obiam
yes.
Into or bad radio presenter and TV presenter.
Yes.
You can imagine the level of frustration.
So I'm saying this to explain why people are angry over some of these things. But I mean the good part they say Nipana at the center of this particular thing has admitted say the act was an act of indiscretion on his part, and he has apologized for it. The rest is for government because it's not as if say government and so are relaxing on this thing because chief of staff as someone and going forward, Ghana for trendy basic. For me, I think it's a good start because you see, maybe in the past, never be says here it will just slide. But good governance has been upgraded to a level where Ghana for expect their government to discharge some level of your friends saying. Integrity, honesty, and so forth. Anything of this conversation, because in the past, a lot as here, we will not even have a time to talk about it in this particular manner. Let alone the person who feels why the body, will have the courage to say, I'm sorry for what I have done.
So my minister are innocent. So what happens? What will be the consequences of the actions of any government official to say be a chief of staff?
Oh, okay.
Say ABR. Say Omokase okay, Sammy Gyamfi onye bonibia, you have not committed any crime.
Okay.
But morally, adia oye ne yansen nimti, you are suspended what will be the consequence? And now say bia, you just want to say okay, you are query. What will be the consequence and what will be the effect on the CEO Sammy Gyamfi?
Oh, I think that particular power now rests with the government and the president to make that particular decision. But those calling for his dismissal, I totally disagree.
Yeah.
Because it's like killing an ant with a bulldozer. Because acting mistake, indiscretion, mistake, and then crime. And indiscretion. Like exercising poor judgment. That is the only thing. But to say it's a crime, I disagree. To call for his head, no. And me say the side that Wapacha Ono should also send your friends a loud way say he has admitted that he has done wrong and he has apologized to the people of this country. As to whether the apology will be accepted or not, I don't know. You can't convince people to accept apology or not. And then the government has decided to take a next step. You understand? That is why. And the chief of staff and as a government then you say but government is acting, you understand?
Yeah.
And then they bring it into question the press conference that the MPP did yesterday.
Press conference.
Oh, the minority. And then say the president then Saki Sammy Gyamfi.
It's a bogus.
And when I saw the press conference, I said these are a bunch of shameless jokers who nobody should take serious in this country. Because you see, in the first place, Sammy Gyamfi from who they need to apologize to the people of this country. No, Obianka saw him from here. The guy has erred and he has apologized. Jebi. Yet now, Kroma Nema Kosu Besin, the decency to even apologize to the people of this country. Till date, Yenyabi. Yente Kromana, your friends say Yakofa, a rapper man back to Jubilee House.
Why?
Rapper Mills of mine, Jubilee House. The gentleman as a rapper saw the sense to apologize to the people of this country. Till date, when I apologize, say, these same people were supporting your friend Cecilia Dapa when we had millions of dollars. I say there is this equivalence. They are equating Sammy Gyamfi issue to Cecilia Dapa issue.
Now, since Sammy Gyamfi and Castle got to get them on the Court of River. So, when
Cecilia Dapa had millions of dollars under her bed, these people could not call press conference. And there are a lot of shitty stuff in this country. As an American, you see, Sammy Gyamfi any right-thinking citizen in Ghana have every right to say anything, criticize, call for his head, whatever. But you see, he who comes into equity must come with clean hands.
Yeah.
Few days ago, these people were out there defending all this nonsense. Suddenly, you are lynching on this particular thing. Where is your credibility? Say, JB Trana criticizes Sammy Gyamfi. It's okay because in the past you were criticizing.
Yeah.
The question is, these are people who are condoning all the nasty stuff happening in this country. All of a sudden, you will gather the moral courage and the enthusiasm to get out there doing press conference. I'm saying that these guys are jokers. And no right-thinking Ghanaian will take them serious for what they are doing. Because in the past, even common apology, we didn't even get it. We can run you through the number of scandals. Nema, act of indiscretion. We rather than indiscretion, act of crime. And Nema, an insult to the sensibility of Ghanaians in this country. These people could not even have the courage. And some of them were on TV defending.
But innocent, so the president said in the code of conduct said by.
Yes.
And all catcher appointees and they said they should not live a luxurious lifestyle, cautioning them about certain things. Yes. And for, even though it is not a crime,
yes,
but it will send a negative signal to the people. It's a typical example of what Sammy Gyamfi So when this thing happens, BBC ACR, what should be the posture of the president and what will happen to Sammy Gyamfi? Say, and Sebia, whichever way, it will have a negative effect on him.
Oh, exactly. So the thing is, now the act has been done. There is nothing that anybody can do to change it.
Absolutely.
So Sammy Gyamfi has apologized.
Yes.
Chief of Staff has called him to listen to his side of the story.
Absolutely.
Now the rest of the decision rests on government and the president to make a decision.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Whatever decision that they make, we have no control. We are in waiting to find out what will happen. You understand?
Yes.
At this point, but whichever way you look at it. In the sight of right-thinking men of society, definitely people will feel disappointed, especially the government being few days old. And again, a man for expected said the trajectory we've been in recent times, where arrogance, profligacy, those kind of things became the signature enterprise of governments. People expect that this time there will be a shift. So when some of these things happen, obviously, we are humans. People will feel disappointed, and the disappointment coming most of them are coming from NDC platform and the chairman you understand?
Yeah.
Because people feel sad, and then you see Abayan Sasa, a man for a per Jumaye. There are people calling people they are not picking. There are people, your friends saying, trying to see people they are not seeing. So people are frustrated. When things happen like this, now, Obi have venting the anger and the frustration on some of these things. That will put government in a very tight corner. So, me say the reaction going on is understandable. You understand that? But the most important part is the apology, and the government has acted. That is the two key things we can take from these things.
So, would the president have any moral justification to also caution or sack any appointee of wrongdoing? A similar situation like this, so because
okay. No, you ask that question after the act. After the president has acted, you understand that?
Okay.
Because now the person has been, because as a principle of natural justice, some explanation has to be, that particular decision has been communicated. The rest of the decision now rests with them. So when government or president comes out with a decision, that is when your question becomes relevant. You understand? But as it stands now, the person has been listening, he has apologized as to whether the president will act or not. But for me, those calling for dismissal is out of way. No. It's like killing an ant with a bulldozer, because acting is an act of indiscretion, exercising poor judgment at when he was not supposed to. He has realized it, he has admitted it, we've moved on, he has apologized, government has taken action. A child said, government is not condoning act like this. So it's also a message to other people, says Sammy Gyamfi, he has been summoned, government has listened to his side of the story, whatever they are going to do, and it's also a way of putting appointees in your friends a corner. You need to be guided, because you see, whenever you are in a private space, say I'm now because despite now on $10 make me a video that to social media.
Absolutely.
But the very moment you hold public office, Sika make me you Sika. You could be class.
No, I Sika because
exactly.
But
you see,
no government appointee has been paid.
And you need to understand the context I'm coming from.
Yes.
Sikano, but because of the position, a man forward concern about these things, you understand? So, and not just a way appointee, wouldn't know who going forward. You should be guided the way you talk, who you speak to, your friends saying. And some other kind of phones, even messages you send on your phone, you need to, because anything can happen. Things on your phone can go viral, you understand? We are government appointee, what load up on phones, but me baby. So whatever, anything can happen, you understand me? As a medical person, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. And I keep telling people, say, I was born a Catholic, I will live as a Catholic, and I will die as a Catholic. I'm a Christian. Means you might have criticize other religion, but the me won't know I can. You see, in recent time, I think that Christianity is breeding a pool of idiots in this country. Yes, say I'm fire na and see from na and regulated churches, and somehow individuals operate in this country. You never be a hosono. Okay, Jamestown massacre. US. Say. Mami in the center of this thing, so you're comfort or you're softful, people know the trajectory. All of a sudden, I set up a church, and Sunday people go there, and on summer, on the Sammy Gyamfi by social media, I don't watch certain videos, but I took my time to go through some of the videos, some of them summer, original sorry them, I can't nipa. And I think say Christian cancer woo baby, and now a buying or baby, I'm finding and see from. Now, in the name of religion, we will give power to idiots, and they will breed a lot of idiots in this country. I buy no attitude sika or they training a man for school, no, a do Sunday. Now you see a training, sabi, nipo munim nyansa. Because some of these things you think any consequences. Some of these things you see people assembling people, fooling them, telling things they don't even understand. Because you think Christianity is just like anything.
But there's a ministry of religious affairs.
I'm saying it's Oko Islam. A man for be preaching, about and before you can preach. You see, you cannot assemble people and allow people. I said, oh, you're so ignorant about. And I said, Debbie, uncle school that can you go to hospitals or surgery? Uncle medical school. So Christianity and I said religion, a doctrine you need to understand, have your friends a certain knowledge about it before you can stand in front of people and then you preach to them. Because a moral line and I will build it in them. But somebody who doesn't have it, he doesn't even understand. All that they say, who can verify that particular thing? So on mine, this thing happened in the 80s. In the 90s in America, and a woman Jim Jones issue has to do with the Jamestown massacre. So for me, Dada, Nassau, Mamo, Munina, non Sinai, Nipa 900. Until date, it remains the biggest homeland killing in America at the time. I see in the history of the country. You see, the Nancy form. We have social media. People imagine I'm a software. Yes, I respect Christianity. I'm a Christian, but in recent times, there are powerful idiots who are emerging from Christianity, and as I'm fire now see from now you crack it down on some of these people. Trust me, social media will give them that oxygen of publicity. Whenever they say things, it will go viral because people are there to fixate on some of this nonsense. But for me, I think I'm buying a wake up call. Let us look beyond the Sammy Gyamfi issue and also wade into this emerging nonsense on the sidelines of Christianity. Now you're making sure, say, a religion you are proud of to be part, you know. You're best sanitizing and making sure say it will not become an avenue where fools will just come and say and they mislead people because you're training a man for university schools, you know. Now these fools are also training people on Sundays, training them to become bigger fools. It will endanger the prospect of this country. Have you observed, say, in this country in recent time, people don't even go to work. A man for a year, you first empire from Monday to Sunday. Productive hours where can you live in the UK and do that kind of things and survive? Where people are supposed to go to work from Monday to evening, you know. I want for the prayer camp quite Bema Katachi over before a year, or more Dama, Bema Katachi before a year. Also, say we need to understand certain things and allow ourselves to be misled into some of this nonsense. This people are high on this spiritual nonsense. Say I'm fire now and see from near and stop it. Idea we are. Idea America are walking away about 30 years ago, no, we are walking into that particular mindful. Some of these things is if you understand the psyche, Makato said, and we become that particular thing.
Yeah.
And when people get exposed to social media and they see some of these things, people think it's funny. And what about you are indoctrinating people, and at the end of the day, they become that particular. You can't survive. And the more you watch, the more you become that particular thing. Don't forget, there is the reason why we're creating a bunch of a man for us, and now if you wake up on Sunday, Sunday, I wasn't feeling fine. And I'm saying, your friends a drato. Do you know the vicinity I live? Me scanning around from morning to evening. If your friends say, learn to bread, be no mean pharmacy shop. I be. Sorry. And this is a country I see a Dubai, I see ye.
And that's Sunday, I was sorry.
No, that's a Sunday. So as a businessman, you need to have a plan. Because, for instance, Catholics say, if you call Solana past 6 o'clock, if you call your friends say 10 o'clock, you do arrangement because open die, you turn near my chrome here. A Sunday, some more no baby and I brought for the Sunday, uncle owner not from Monday, and I will tell you, say, thou make it sicker and a Sunday. What I say? You say, keep the Sabbath day and keep it holy.
Yeah, observe the Sabbath day and keep it holy.
No, sir. I am saying, sure, I'm 14. I would Sabbath day, no feed you. Yes, no, so you need to think positive and make sure that you are value your mind to happiness. I think that I'm calling on government, say, some of these things, yes, obi assuming I mean, when I see young people preaching the word of God and I say for them. But you see, there are other people also emerging into the folder. They are misleading, misinforming, and fooling people. We need to tap in and stop this nonsense. And yes, sir, remember, and then we say about the crowd catch up with Christian in class. I told that now we are because of this nonsense going on social media. And then I am born.
All right, I say a lot of messages about our Facebook. Obeso bet me do the aba na ye di nkomo. Chairman, obeka wasema na yen ko into Zoom live issue.
JB, kakra me be say me ka fa ho say na ye ka say minority ekoye press conference against
ma who's more you be no more church right house but
a very unfortunate your friends press conference now because press conference who say it doesn't hold fire. I say omotiwo am say omuni bibia omuni juma biadi and omako ka omo abom na omo so omo hold pressure because we share nema asisi atwam na we asisi ladapanum issue na we debe asisi scandals bibira asisi no
and then edubu ahen ne 7 days naso nto message na kokko to be
yeah no kokko hwe sa niema ya we mu nyina ye no the ben wo sorry a wo kese me kwa press conference against other ayinida now kwabrania kwa transi siki amanfo attention say also mbetie sa press conference a omoye na ne atu Sammy Gyamfi no de bia ya meka em say ebe serve as a deterrent ama every government official bia na holding public office no ebe serve as a deterrent ama na ebe duru ba bi so no ebia na obi wo pepa say oye papa ma obi but because of niasi nanenti so ohia no pese oye papa ma okra na like on to me next papa no dey
like for instance me nchawa no now there is also this thing across social media for Sukwache.
Yeah.
The minister in charge of communication, the mother president. So, Oba, your sister station, TV3. What was our phones na ye be mummy and son?
Yeah.
And now, or dim you know the assistant and him. And I heard him now as urgent information for when a simple iPad or laptop could do that job. And I could also assume now or more air target, you know, that's very particular, you know. Okay, the price of that such phone now. I am told it says about $11,200 and something.
Oh, but let me clear. Felix owned that particular thing even long before power.
But
you own those things long before.
Yes, but here is the case. The president was preaching against luxurious lifestyle. Somebody see it as commentaries on social media. It's also one of the key things. You need to pay attention to.
Minister, you come on the platform. You need to on the laptop no anyway. Laptop is more expensive. No, laptop is more expensive than that particular.
Well, it depends.
Huawei phone that triple slide.
Yeah, triple slide.
He has been owning this phone is almost a year. Maybe who you
absolutely. It's not a bad thing.
You see, yes, our governance a bedroom, and all the support and one of and now some government